G'day guys, Steve Glover from Paragon Homes. Hope you're having a fantastic afternoon. 2020, we've made it our mission to try and help as many people possible get a greater outcome in the construction of their home. It comes right through from purchasing a block, designing your home, getting what you want in your package, right through the handover experience and beyond. So that's our mission, to help as many people as we can. Lift the limitations on, I suppose, what they thought was the industry norms and what they can expect and the way that builders typically do it. We want to remove them and give you a better process so you get a better outcome. Today's video, I wanted to talk about purchasing a block of land, and I've broken down into a couple of lists, one with things you need to consider and others with costs associated which need to be accounted for at the time when you're looking for blocks of land. So I'm going to go through this first list and title it, so begin with the end in mind. And what I mean by that is have a big picture. Don't just go in looking for a block of land, then try and start thinking about the home, what it needs to do, how it needs to function, and how it's going to finish up. You want to be thinking about your end result at the time you start looking, right from the very outset. This way you can ensure you can address these things, and by the time it comes to get your keys and move into it, you're going to have a home which is the best possible result, ticking all the boxes of the requirements you need along the way throughout that journey. So first things that comes to block of land, location. Very important one. Is this block in a desirable location that you are happy to live? So whether you're going to be there short term, long term, for your current situation, is it ticking that box? Lifestyle, the lifestyle you live. Are you going to be able to have that in this position, in this block? Is the home that you build on this block going to tick the box for the lifestyle you live? Do you love entertaining? Do you love sport? Do you need area for the kids to run around? All those sort of things. Type of home. Are you going to be able to build the type of home you want on this block? Is it going to limit you in some way? Is it too slopey to build a slab on ground? Are you have to go stumps? Do you want to go double story? All those sort of things that can be accounted for in the type of home. The purpose of the home. One thing we're big on is understanding our client's purpose in why they want to build. Is it going to be your forever home? Is it an investment home? Is it a stepping stone? So is it a home that you might be there for 1 to 3 to 5 years, then you want to go on to something bigger and better as your family changes, as your lifestyle changes and you adapt, and lets you move on to bigger and better things. So it's just a stepping stone to moving forward to where you want to be in your life. Budget. Does it meet your budget requirements? Are you going to be able to do what you want to do, build the home you want to be, fit in with your budget? This works hand in hand with it as well. Completed value. Are you going to be able to build the home on that block of land, take into account all these costs associations that I'm going to go through shortly, and have a product or have a home that is not going to be a burden on you financially? If you wanted to sell it, you're not going to spend ballpark 500,000 and only be able to sell it for 450. So that's a negative financial decision for you. And we really want to our clients, when they build, to have that equity into it, give them that financial stability moving forward. It's very important when you do address all these things. A few of the things, so the costs associated with the blocks that we see, and we look at when I'm looking for a block for myself, and also for all our clients that we've gone through our buyer assist package, to be able to find them a block and make sure it's going to be the best outcome and make sure it ticks all their boxes as well. Typically we see soil type, pretty standard. You've probably seen the soil test. So it'll give you the soil type, millimetres of movement, those sort of things. Also gives you a bore log. Bore log will be able to tell us what's happening underneath that soil. Is there rock? Is there any other things that we need to be accounted for? Costs associated that we could see that we'd love to make you aware of, so they're not going to be that hidden extra, that blow to the pocket at the end of the day when you need to come up with an extra $30,000 because you've hit bedrock and we can't get the footings down, something along those lines, so we can eradicate them right from the start. The P that you might see on soil tests too, so that's sort of some conditions that may affect the soil, whether there's tree roots, whether there's extremely dry soil, which we've seen with the drought. Thankfully, we did get a bit of rain to green things up a bit recently, but those sort of things. Is there water underneath? Uncompacted fill. Can be a various amount of things there that we really need to address, so we can give you a solid figure. Coming to this point, you can make an educated decision on how much it's going to cost you and a definite path moving forward to what you want to get out of building a home. Slope. So that's the slope of the block. This can cause a few factors with financials going forward. So increased earthworks, if you get over a certain amount of height, 300 millimeters, compaction testing, all those sort of extra costs that get added into it. When you start to get into those high earthworks, you're adding in retaining walls. We want to be able to give you the cost of those, because all these things are a factor of the block of land. They don't actually deliver any value to the home at the end of the day, but they are going to be a cost that's going to be incurred. So we want you to be aware of that before you've made the decision to commit, because this could mean the fact of buying a block or going somewhere else and getting somewhere that's going to be a bit better outcome for you. Is there developer covenants? So does the developer have any requirements that you need to meet in the planning, the construction of your home, which may add cost that you need to, even though you don't want to do it? You need to adhere to these covenants that a developer will put on their blocks. Council requirements, in particularly overlays. So is there a bushfire overlay? Is there any planning scheme overlays, neighbourhood character, etc. That we need to have a look at? Is there any council restrictions on what can and can't be done on that particular block? We need to find out all of these before we've got a decision moving forward, so we can make sure that we're going to be able to get you the result that you want to get. Utility connections, so is there power, water, telecommunications, NBN, sewer connections, all those sort of things on block. If there's typically we come into the bigger blocks where there isn't the sewer connection, is there going to be the area for the disposal area that you're going to need for your treatment plants? All those sort of things. We don't want to get to the outset, gone through and designed your house, come up with a U-Butte design, and then find out we haven't got enough area to be able to do your treatment plant disposal, your septic disposal. So all those sort of things we need to address. Any access restrictions. So is there anything you might want a driveway on a particular side of your block if you've got a narrow frontage? Is that clear? Is there light poles, for instance? Is there any communications boxes, Telstra, NBN, those sort of things in the way? Those sort of things we need to look at to make sure before we've got too in depth and spent a whole heap of money and done our dough, we can address them up front and give you some certainty moving forward. So that's an overview of everything here. I'm going to do some videos to break it down, or if you would like more information on anything particular here or overall, or are interested in our Buyer Assist program, where we do liaise with our clients and go through the particular blocks that might meet all these needs and give you a report on what's going to be good or what's going to be bad, sort of on any blocks you're particularly looking forward to, or point you in the right direction of what would be suited if you haven't sort of yet right at the start of that process and still making a decision. So we can come into all that, and beauty is when we do that, we give it a backing that the price that we give you is the price. It's a quoted price, so we'll do those works on those prices for that block. So we're not going to try and give you a cheap price, make you feel all warm and fuzzy, then come in, tell you we can do it and sting you later on. So it's not the way we operate, not the way we'd hope that the building industry doesn't operate as a whole. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Pop your name in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If there's anybody out there that may be in this position of requiring some information about this, tag them below, share it to them. Just tell them to get in contact. We're happy to talk to it. As I said, we've got a mission this year to help as many people possible, sort of lift the limiting beliefs around what's possible or the processes involved with building a home and change them, flip them on their head. So it is tailored around you and getting you a great result out of the build and the construction of your home, no matter what you're doing, investment, anything. So all those sort of things we address along the way. So I hope you've had got some information out of this, and stay tuned for some more videos in the near future. I've been Steve Glover from Paragon Homes. Have a fantastic afternoon.